What's the deal, YouTube? What's up with it, fool? Y'all already know what the fuck going on. What's up with my fine, sexy, schmixy college boy? One just drove past. So, my last two videos was a bit more on the not serious side, but compared to my stories, yeah, serious side. So, I got another story for y'all today, though. You feel me? I'm about to be talking about my worst DL experience that I've ever experienced in my life. This situation, I thought I was gonna end up like, I don't know if I can say that on here without them, you feel me, flagging my video, but that's what it was looking like in the process. So, you feel me, I'm about to go ahead and get into this. You feel me, I ain't gonna waste no time, but just make sure y'all go to my description and check out my links, man. We about to hit 60,000 on TikTok, 22,000 on X, 3,000 on Instagram and YouTube. We hitting 10K either today or tomorrow. I'm calling it now. And I want to appreciate y'all. I want to tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all for that as well. So, yeah, but without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. I'm finna roll these little roaches up real quick, too, at the same time. So, when all this started, this actually stems from a story that I've told on this page before. Have I told it? No, I don't. I think I told it on TikTok. But it stems from a previous story that I already talked about. Somebody who used to try to pick on me, right? And I ended up finding out that he was DL. But this isn't about him, it's about his friend. So I'm not even gonna talk about the last story that I told. I'm gonna just break everything down for this story that y'all need to know. Look, hold on, let me roll this real quick because I don't want the paper noise all in the background. Sorry, y'all. That's terrible. Oh my god, I'm a fucking junkie. What the fuck? Just caught a glimpse of, oh my god, y'all. So when all this stuff was going on, I was in middle school, right? And mind y'all, this is the worst DL experience I've ever had till this day. And I done got robbed by a DL nigga and some more shit. But this was worse. So at least it felt worse than a moment. So I started off, was the 7th year? No, it was 8th grade, because I remember I was going to this school. It was kind of like a charter school, or like, I don't think that was the word for it, but it was one of them schools that wasn't regular. But it wasn't for bad kids. It was just like a different type of school. And I was in 8th grade. And you feel me? I started off at that school on some regular shit. On some cool shit, you feel me? Me and my best friend kind of ran that school. I had my own step team at the school that I created by working with them because they knew I was a trained dancer. And so I worked with the school to start a team for the school because they didn't really have much going on. But then I ended up getting kicked out that school with my best friend because we punched on this boy who threatened us, right? Boom. So in the process of us getting kicked out the school, we ended up going to a different school, Ennis, in Akron, Ohio. When I went to Ennis, it was cool, but I had haters like really bad at that school, specifically more than any school I've ever went to. It was a specific group of people, and they used to hate on me so bad. And I never knew why. You feel me? Like, when I tell you these niggas was haters, but it was like they was already beefing with most of the niggas in our grade. You feel me? They was into it with everybody. But when I tell y'all these niggas was haters, like, it was 3 of them mainly. And then they had like one who was younger. He used to try to tag along, but you could tell they didn't really fuck with him like that. In the midst of me going to the school or whatever, I used to be a dancer. I was a trained dancer, and I used to post my work and shit like that or whatever. And I was pretty popular on Facebook for it. Now, whenever them niggas would see me in the hallway, I remember it was one who was buff. He was a little bit taller than me. I'm gonna call him Q. And then there was one who was tall and skinny and black, and I'm gonna call him D. And then it was one who was like my size, kind of skinny, with pretty ass eyes. I'm gonna call him A. And then they had 2 more, but the other 2, I don't know, they didn't really be into the same shit that the rest of them was really into for real. So they used to pick all the time, and then I remember it got to a point where I ended up finding out that one of the guys was DL or whatever, right? That's the one that I talked about before on the story where like he was picking, but one of my gay friends told me how he used to fuck with him. He sent me the messages, and I told my best friend that my best friend was in class with him, and she said something to him about it, and then from that point, he wouldn't even look my way. Like, he stopped, completely stopped hating on me, stopped looking at me, never said nothing to me after that, right? Boom. So keep that in mind. That was the tall, skinny one, D, out of the group of boys who used to always hate on me for dancing and shit. Used to try to call me gay, right? Boom. So after I knew that D was DL, and he knew that I knew he wasn't fucking with me no more. Now, let's fast forward. After school, it was, and I believe it was summertime, or we was on some type of break, but we wasn't in school. Don't mind if y'all hear no noise or like cars driving past and shit, but we was out of school at this point, right? I was staying at this house in Akron, and I remember A, out of that group, he lived literally a couple houses down from me. Q and D, they lived in the projects, but A lived right up the street from me, so I would see them frequently because they would be at A's house. Boom. So I remember one day, it was late, it was dark, and I used to take the bus to and from, like the city bus, not no regular, you feel me? I used to take the city bus to and from practice, like my dance practice and shit. So I remember it was one night where I was getting off the bus and I had to walk up to my house. But to get to my house, I had to pass A's house, right? When I got off the bus, because I took this particular route or whatever. So I get off the bus, and as I'm walking, like, I got my headphone in, but I always kept one out just because this Akron, gotta make sure I know where I'm at, what's going on around me. You just never know. As I'm walking, mind you, this is after I knew about D. I hear voices, like chuckling, like evil chuckling on some shit, right? So, I ended up, like, I kept walking, but I was paying attention. Then when I looked up, I ended up seeing that it was, D wasn't there. It was A and it was Q. Now, this story is about Q, right? I look up and I see Q and A chuckling. Mind y'all, Q was the toughest one out the group. He was the one, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like me and him with a squad boot, it could have went either way. But you feel me, like, I'm still never going for shit. So when he chuckled and I looked up and I seen it was him and he seen it was me, he got off the porch, like, and I thought he was about to come on some tough shit, but he was acting weird. He walked up to me, like, laughing and shit. So initially I take my headphone out and I stop and I'm just looking, because like, you always, every time we see each other in school, you got something to say. So like I don't expect nothing different, you feel me? So when he seen me take my earphone and shit out and like low-key position myself ready to swing, he like, damn, it's like that? Bro, what? Like, what you mean? What you want? Like, what you want? Like, nigga, I know you. What you want? You feel me? And he was like, I'm not on that. I'm not on that. Like, on some playful shit. I ain't on that. Like, mind you, A in the background chuckling. His little brother, C, in the background chuckling. But they still on the porch. A just, like, basically talking. So I start walking again. But, like, when he was in front of me, I started walking again. Like, fuck it. Like, minding my business. Like, I'm just walk home. Like, mind my business. But he started walking with me. So I stop again and I'm like, what? And then he like, Like, cause now at this point, I'm really feeling weird. Just mind you, if you're not from Akron, then you don't know. But Akron is not one of them places where you can follow somebody home and think shit's sweet. You feel me? Like, no, not at all. So I turn around, I'm like, what? Like, why is you following me? Now, mind you, at this point, we not even by, and like we a little bit further up the street from A's house, so we closer to my house now. So A and C, the ones who was on the porch chuckling, they still on the porch. You feel me? Now it's just me and Q. So I'm like, what? And he like he's still giggling, like he like, where you stay at? Like, which one your house? And I'm like, why? Like, what you like now at this point? You got me not even want to go home. I'm like, why? Like, what you want? He was basically trying to tell me to like chill out. You feel me? And just give him a chance to have a conversation or whatever. So we ended up walking to my house, and I was sitting on my porch because I'm not finna like invite you in. You feel me? So I'm sitting on my porch, and we was smoking a FT. Don't judge me, but that's what we used to do. I started smoking FTs before I started smoking anything else. So we were sitting there, we were smoking a FT, and I asked him, I don't really remember how the conversation went all the way through, but I remember I asked him, like, so, like, you in my Facebook, what's up with all the, like, you gave me hell, you feel me, in school, you feel me? You gave me hell, for real. And he was basically like, I'll just be playing, you just sensitive, it's not even like that. We was talking or whatever for a minute, and then I don't really remember how the conversation got there, but I remember he had stopped me. He was like, stopped me in the middle of my sentence. He was like, so is you really gay? Like, I don't remember how it got there, but I remember it got there. He was like, so is you really gay, for real? And when he said it, I'm looking at him. I didn't say nothing. I'm just looking at him, and he like, I'm saying because every time we say it, you get mad. So it must be true. And then you be dancing. So basically he was just trying to like get me to tell him I was gay or whatever. I'm like, why though? Like, why do you care? Like, I kept asking him, like, why do you care? Like, why do you care? It's not your business. And then he was like, why you can't just be yourself? And I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, damn, this nigga just like low-key read me or whatever. So the conversation went from him telling me I need to be myself to him asking me if it's gay if he did something with a guy, but basically he did the penetrating. So like basically he's saying like, is it not gay because he didn't get penetrated? He was asking me that or whatever. So I asked him, like, why? Like, I don't really know why. I don't really, like, I don't have the answers to these type of questions. And I asked him, like, why? And he was like, I just want to know if I fuck you. Like, he said it kind of aggressive, like, I just want to know if I fuck you, did that make me gay? If I fuck you, basically. And when he said it, I'm literally the same way I'm froze right now. I'm froze looking at him. I'm like this. We sitting here smoking the FT and shit. I just got out of practice. You asking me if you fuck me, does it make you gay? So in the midst of me staring at him like he done lost his damn mind, he started chuckling. And like we sitting on the steps, and he had like smacked my leg, like trying to like get me to snap out of it, but like he smacked my leg, and was giggling and shit. So I asked him, I'm like, okay, so why are you asking me these questions? And then he basically was like, told me not to ask him shit. Like, don't ask me. Like, basically, like, he was, I don't know. But this is the thing. The only reason why I went along with the conversation, he was talking to me like a bitch. Kind of, for real. But it was turning me on the whole time, the way he was talking. Because he was fine ass nigga. He was just a dickhead. You feel me? So, in the midst of all that, he ended up asking me, he like, so do you smoke weed? And I'm like, of course. I'm sitting here smoking a black. You don't think I smoke weed? So he was like, he told me I should smoke with him. He said if I don't feel comfortable smoking at his spot, then we could sit outside my house and smoke. So I told him, like, nah, you might as well just come in. You feel me? At that point, you might as well just come in. And so he was cool. He like, all right, bet. So we ended up going in the crib or whatever. Boom. So we in there. I ended up rolling up because I had some a little bit, and he had some. So he rolled up too. And at first we was in there, we was just chilling. He talked a lot of shit the whole time, like cracking jokes or whatever. But we was just chilling for the most part, and listening to music while we was smoking. And then I went to the bathroom, and I came back in the room. And when I came back in the room, he was on the bed, but he like laid back. He was, as soon as I opened the door and I came in, he told me to lock the door. And I did it. I already said he was turning me on from the jump, so it is what it is. I locked the door. And he like did this, like basically telling me to turn off the light. So I turned it off, and he like, come here. Y'all, when I tell y'all, one of the best bodies I got, that make me sound like a hoe, don't it? But boy, when I tell y'all, this is bad, but that nigga put me through the mattress. Like, he told me to come here. So I came. And he had pulled me on top of him at first. And he had me by my neck, and we was kissing. And he started kissing down my neck and on my chest and everywhere. And then I was taking off his clothes. And shit was like, yeah, I got. And then I started slurping him. Like, he was smacking my shit. Oh, Lord. And then when we actually did it, first we was a missionary. He was staring me in my eyes, choking me, kissing on me. And then, you feel me? We did what we did, whatever. Let me get out of, stop thinking about that. So we did what we did, and it was amazing, right? And then after that, when it was about time for him to go or whatever, shit took a turn for the worst. So when he was getting up to leave, and this is why I understood why he was so homophobic, because he was so scared of people finding out that he was DL. That's why he was so homophobic. He was trying to hide it. Because when it was time for him to leave, he was like, cause he had his bag and his he had like his jacket and shit. I didn't know he had pole on him. So when it was time for him to leave and he got up, like after he got dressed and stuff, he was like, he told me, like, you not gonna tell nobody, right? And I'm like, I start shaking my head, no. And then he, like, I shook my head, no, but I didn't say nothing out loud. And then it's like, he kind of got mad a little bit. He was like, nigga, answer me. Like, you not gonna tell nobody, right? Mind you, it's just me and this nigga in the house. I'm like, now he make me a little nervous. So I'm like, no, I'm not. And then he opened his bag real fast and pulled out his blicky. Like, but he did it so fast, I thought he was about to just take me out. Like, I swear, he pulled it out so quick and, like, put that bitch, like, right here. And, like, when he did it, I just froze. I'm like, bro, like, what is you doing? Like, I'm not gonna say nothing, I swear to God. Like, basically, like, pleading for my life, trying to convince this nigga I'm not gonna expose him or whatever. So, it was almost like it was turning him on or whatever, because he just kept rubbing it on my neck. And he was like, you know what's gonna happen if you do, right? And I'm like, I said, yeah. He was like, yes, what? I'm sorry, y'all. That part is bad, but that shit's sexy. Boy, I grew up in the streets. You gotta understand. Look, and he was like, yes, what? And I'm like, yes, sir. Like, yes, sir. So, a lot of these bitches driving past staring at me. So, then he, like, put it down, and he put it in his pocket. And then he grabbed me by my neck. He grabbed me by my neck and kissed me again. And then left like nothing happened. Yeah. And that's the story, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. But that was my worst experience I ever had with a deal, only because it scared the fuck out of me, even though it was turning me on, because he was literally like so serious, like, you know what's gonna happen to you if you tell anybody. Like, he was trying to make sure I knew for real, like, he wasn't fucking around. He really put that bitch, and his finger was like damn near on the trigger or whatever. But you know, you live and you learn or whatever. So I hope y'all enjoyed the story. Like I be saying, don't stress your life away. Just be grateful you live to see another day, especially when you do shit like what I be doing. I love y'all. I'm out.